As the sun set over the fancy neighborhood of Lake Forest in Wichita, Lauren Graham stood by her window. She leaned on the modern railing and looked at the colorful autumn leaves in her garden. Lauren was 37 and 6 months pregnant. She gently touched her growing belly. Each time she thought about the little life inside her, she felt calm and happy. For a moment, she forgot about the problems she had with her parents and sister. Lauren closed her eyes as memories came flooding back. She remembered her father's birthday party 3 years ago very clearly. It was a big, fancy event at the Bowen family's large home to celebrate her father Jeremy's 62th birthday. Many important people from Wichita's real estate world were invited. Champagne was everywhere. "Oh, Lauren," her mother Julie had said, walking up in a flashy Chanel suit. "Did you get that dress on sale at a department store?" Her tone made it clear she was making fun of Lauren. Lauren was wearing a simple black dress from a department store, but to her, it showed what she believed in. "Yes, I like it," she said calmly. "Well, with your husband's income, that makes sense," Julie said loudly so others could hear. "The president of a small real estate company doesn't compare to the people here." Just then, her sister Kelly walked up. She wore a Hermes dress and a real diamond necklace. "Lauren, it's rare to see you here," she said with a smirk. "You usually skip family events and prefer your quiet life." Lauren just smiled without saying anything. Kelly was a sales director at their father's company, but she wasn't very good at her job. Still, their parents paid her well and let her live in luxury. Later at the party, Lauren heard her father talking to a client. "The future of Bowen real estate is in Kelly's hands," Jeremy said proudly. "She's doing a great job as my successor." Lauren had to smile to herself. She knew Kelly's so-called skills were mostly just throwing parties and making small talk. "Father," Lauren said as she walked up to him. Jeremy's face tensed for a second. "Ah, Lauren," he said with a forced smile. "You came today. Happy birthday." She said something. "Ah," Jeremy replied shortly. "Is Henry working today?" "Yes," Lauren said. "He has an important case." Jeremy gave a sarcastic smile. "Being the president of a small company must be hard." Lauren calmly replied, "It's just a different scale from big companies like yours." As the night came to an end, Julie suddenly turned to Lauren, her face serious under heavy makeup. "I have to tell you something," she said. "It's been decided. Kelly will take over Jeremy's company."
"You don't get a say."
"You left the family path and did things your own way." Lauren felt a chill from those words, but didn't respond. A few weeks ago, for the first time since that party 3 years ago, Lauren visited her parents to share her pregnancy news. But that visit left deep emotional wounds. "Really?"
Julie said, surprised.
"With how you live, raising a child will be hard." "We're preparing," Lauren said quietly. Kelly added with a smirk, "Your kind of preparing must mean more of that simple lifestyle." "Poor baby." Lauren stayed silent, even though the words stung. But her father's comment hurt the most. "Lauren," Jeremy said firmly, "do not give your child the Bowen last name. I won't let you ruin our family's name." Since that day, Lauren kept her distance. She didn't answer calls or emails. It wasn't just silence, it was a choice. A choice to protect herself and her unborn child. Still, her family's shadow stayed with her. Sometimes she heard things about the company her parents and Kelly ran. It made her uneasy. On the outside, the company looked successful. But inside the real estate world, there were whispers, strange deals, unclear money movements. Lauren didn't know it yet, but those rumors were only the beginning. Deep down, she felt something big was being hidden. She also remembered her mother's harsh words at her wedding. "We were embarrassed. Such a small wedding. What a shame for the Bowen name." Lauren opened her eyes. The memories scattered like autumn leaves in the wind. "Are you feeling okay?" Peter's kind voice came from behind her. He had just finished another long day as the CEO of a real estate development company. Even though Peter was always under pressure at work, he never forgot to check on Lauren first when he got home. "Yes, I'm perfect," Lauren said with a smile, turning around in her plain dress, without any fancy jewelry. Her simple life was very different from the flashy lifestyle of her family. Suddenly, her phone rang, breaking the quiet moment. The screen said, "Mom." Lauren's smile faded. After 4 rings, she took a deep breath and picked up. "Hello." "Lauren, I need to talk to you about your baby shower," Julie said, her voice full of pride as usual. In the background, Lauren could hear spa music and guessed her mother was getting a massage. "Next Friday, I've planned a celebration at Lissandor. Be there at 8 o'clock. Lissandor was one of the most expensive French restaurants in Wichita. Just one dish there could cost hundreds of dollars. The service was perfect, and the place was all about showing off. Lauren frowned. Her family was always like this, obsessed with appearances and what other people thought. "Mom, it doesn't have to be somewhere that fancy," she said. "Nonsense," Julie snapped. "This is my first grandchild. It should be celebrated properly. Or, do you want to keep living your simple little life?" Her voice was full of judgment as always, criticizing Lauren's lifestyle, her marriage to Peter, and every choice she had ever made. Right after the call ended, Lauren got a message from Kelly. "Lauren, make sure you come this time. It's sad how you always avoid us. Mom and Dad are really worried about you." Lauren stared at her phone, a bitter smile forming on her face. Kelly always sounded sweet, but there was always something mean hiding in her words. She looked down on Lauren for choosing independence. Peter gently placed his hand on Lauren's shoulder. "You don't have to go if you don't want to," he said. "You don't need to listen to them." "I'll go," Lauren said firmly. "I'm done running away. Maybe it's time to face it all." That night, Lauren sat in the study, flipping through an old photo album. The photos were from 11 years ago, when she had decided to leave a big company and start her own path. Her parents mocked her, and Kelly chose to stay in the family business. "You won't achieve anything. You'll only bring shame to our family," her mother had said. Those words still echoed in her mind. In the photos, young Lauren looked nervous, but she hadn't given up. That brave choice led her to the happiest part of her life, meeting Peter Graham. Back then, he was just the president of a small real estate company. But Lauren was drawn to him right away, his honesty, how hard he worked, and how he judged people by their hearts, not their money or looks. Her parents and Kelly had never accepted their marriage. "What's the point of marrying someone from a small real estate company?" Kelly had once mocked. But Lauren didn't care. Peter had worked hard and slowly grew his business. Now, he was the CEO of a large real estate development company. Still, they lived a simple life. They cared about real happiness, not showing off or pretending. "Lauren," Peter said, peeking into the study. "Can you come here? I need to talk to you." His voice sounded serious. Lauren closed the old photo album and stood up, not knowing that what was about to happen would change her life. Lissandor stood tall in Wichita's Gold Coast neighborhood. It was a grand, historic building with an old-time charm. Its 1930s-style design sparkled in the night. As Lauren stepped out of the taxi, she let out a deep breath. She wore a dark blue maternity dress that fit the restaurant's elegant atmosphere. It was 8 o'clock. "Take care," the taxi driver said. "Seems like a place that's not really your style." Lauren gave a faint smile. He was right. This fancy place didn't match her values. But tonight wasn't about comfort. Tonight, she was ready to face her family. As she opened the heavy brass door, warm light from chandeliers created soft shadows on the marble floor. A well-dressed floor manager named Tyler greeted her with a polite smile. "Are you with the Bowen family's party?" "Yes," Lauren said. "I'm sorry," he replied. "Your group has already finished their meal." Lauren's heart skipped a beat. Finished? But the reservation was for 8 o'clock. Tyler looked confused. "No, your reservation was for 6. And in that moment, Lauren understood. It was all planned. They had set her up. She took a deep breath to stay calm. "I'll take you to your table," Tyler said. When she entered the dining area, she saw the leftovers, dirty plates and half-empty wine bottles still on the table. Her mother, Julie, sat there in a fancy Chanel jacket, smiling with fake warmth. Her father, Jeremy, looked awkward in his chair. Kelly sat next to him, smirking while scrolling on her phone. "Oh, Lauren, you finally made it," Julie said, pretending to be surprised. We've already eaten. We didn't think you'd be so late. Mom, Lauren replied coldly. The reservation was for 8 o'clock. That can't be. Kelly jumped in. It was at 6. I made the booking myself. Lauren quietly pulled out her phone and showed a message from Julie. It clearly said, "Please come at 8 o'clock. By the way," Julie said, quickly changing the subject, "about the bill, we had to eat since you were late. And we booked this place to celebrate your baby shower." "So, you want me to pay?" Lauren asked, cutting her off. "Exactly," Kelly jumped in. "You were the one who showed up late." Lauren glanced at the bill on the table. 4-course meals, 2 bottles of expensive wine, extra desserts. The total was over $3,000. Just then, calm footsteps came from the restaurant entrance. "Sorry to keep you waiting," Peter said as he walked in, wearing a sharp navy suit. He approached the table with quiet confidence. "Oh, Peter," Julie said, her voice suddenly sweet. "So glad you could join us." But right behind Peter came someone else, Chef Patrick Wilson, the restaurant's owner. When he appeared, Julie's smile disappeared. "Mrs. Bowen," Chef Patrick said seriously, "thank you for dining at the main location of the Graham Hospitality Group." "Graham Hospitality Group?" Kelly's voice shook. "Yes," Peter replied calmly. "It's my company. I own and run 7 luxury restaurants in Wichita, including Lissendor." The faces around the table went pale. They had always looked down on Peter, thinking he ran a small company. Now they realized he was the owner of a major restaurant group. Peter continued, "We've saved all records of tonight's reservation and the security footage. It clearly shows the time change and attempts to make Lauren pay. This counts as fraud." Julie's hands trembled as she grabbed her purse. Jeremy turned pale. Kelly nearly dropped her phone. "This is just a misunderstanding," Jeremy said quickly, trying to cover up. "No, it's not," Peter said firmly, his voice calm but sharp. "This was planned. And it's not the only thing. We're also looking into your past actions carefully." Lauren stood beside her husband, watching as her family's proud image began to crumble. Years of showing off and lies were finally catching up to them. Outside the window, the Wichita skyline glowed in the night. The mood in the private dining room was heavy. The chandelier's light seemed to shine a spotlight on the truth. Peter quietly placed a black leather briefcase on the table. "There's something you need to see." "I want you to see this," Peter said, unlocking the briefcase with a loud click. The sound echoed in the quiet room. Julie's face, heavy with makeup, twisted in shock. Jeremy wiped sweat from his forehead, his hands shaking. Kelly, still holding her phone, sat frozen. "These are Bowen Real Estate's transaction records from the past 6 years," Peter said, pulling out a thick file. "The contents are very interesting." What are you talking about?" Jeremy asked, his voice shaking. Peter held up another document. "Fake transactions, false invoices, and here, multiple illegal loans." Lauren gasped. She had no idea her father's company was involved in so much wrongdoing. Peter continued, "Since the 2009 real estate crash, your company has basically been bankrupt. But you kept pretending everything was fine. You lived in luxury using money from illegal sources." "Be quiet," Julie shouted suddenly. "You don't understand. We have a reputation to protect. To keep up appearances, we had to." "Are you saying fraud was necessary?" Lauren cut in. "Is that why you've always looked down on me?" Kelly jumped to her feet. "You, with your simple life, you're an embarrassment to this family. You don't know anything." But Lauren stayed calm. "Peter, go on." Peter took out another document. "Kelly Bowen, this is the result of an investigation into your divorce and finances." Kelly's face turned white. "You've been divorced for 7 months. The job title of sales director at your father's company?
A lie.
You've made no actual sales. You just collect a salary while doing nothing." Lauren stepped forward. "You've been living off mom and dad while pretending to have it all together." "Stop," Kelly cried, breaking down into tears. "After the divorce, I was desperate. I had nothing. I didn't want anyone to know, not you, especially. You always seemed like you had the perfect life." "Perfect." Lauren let out a short laugh. All I did was live honestly. Enough, Julie shouted. We were protecting our family's pride. You wouldn't understand what that means. Peter's voice was cold. Then take a look at this. He showed another document. These are records from your personal bank account, Mrs. Bowen. You've been using stolen money from your husband's company to pay for spa visits, beauty clinics, and luxury treatments. Be quiet. Julie covered her ears. You have no right to judge how we live. A newcomer? Peter replied calmly. Maybe. But I built everything I have with honest work, not lies and stolen money. Lauren stood tall. You've all looked down on me for years. But the truth is, you were jealous. I succeeded without cheating anyone. I didn't need to fake anything or pretend to be someone I'm not. Lauren, Jeremy said weakly. We only wanted what was best for you. No, Lauren said firmly, her voice echoing in the room. You lived for your pride, not for me. She gently placed a hand on her belly. And you never truly cared about me or this child. But I will. I won't let this baby grow up in your world of lies. What do you plan to do now? Peter asked quietly. We can take all this evidence to the police. Jeremy turned pale. No, not that. Kelly burst into tears. Please stop. We can't take any more. We've already lost so much. Lost, Lauren said coldly. You've been falling for years. You just refuse to see it. The chandelier light shone harshly on the table, lighting up the stack of documents, proof of years of lies and fraud. You have 48 hours, Peter said firmly. Decide what you're going to do. If we don't hear from you by then, we'll take legal action. Julie reached out to Lauren. Lauren, surely you wouldn't turn against your own family. We're not family anymore, Lauren replied, her voice calm but final. It's over. She turned and walked out with Peter, leaving the 4 members of the Bowen family sitting in silence. In the elegant private dining room, only the remains of a broken family were left behind. Outside, the Wichita skyline still sparkled in the night, but its light no longer touched their hearts. Sunlight streamed into the quiet courtroom. Lauren, now 7 months pregnant, sat beside Peter in the spectator seats. The room was filled with tension as the prosecutors spoke clearly. The trial for fraud, forgery, and embezzlement against Jeremy Bowen, Julie Bowen, and Kelly Bowen will now begin. The 48 hours had passed. The Bowen family never contacted Lauren or Peter. Instead, they had tried to destroy the evidence, which only made things worse. In regard to the fraudulent actions at Bowen Real Estate, the prosecutor began. The defendants have committed fraud totaling more than $7 million since 2009. Lauren looked at the 4 people seated at the front of the courtroom. Their once glamorous image was gone. Her father looked tired and beaten. Her mother had no makeup on, her face lowered. Kelly clutched a tissue, with shaking hands. More evidence was shown: fake loans, altered financial reports, and the planned setup at the restaurant. Everything was exposed. In addition, the prosecutor continued, Julie Bowen personally misused over $3 million of company money for personal expenses. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. Julie covered her face in shame. Kelly Bowen, the prosecutor said next, reported fake sales numbers, received a salary without working, and lied to gain extra money during her divorce. Kelly's shoulders trembled as she wiped her eyes. The defense tried to explain, they only did this to keep up their social image. Objection, the prosecutor interrupted. Wanting to look successful does not excuse breaking the law. Sustained, the judge said sternly. Peter's witness statement played a key role in the case. He told the full story, starting with the incident at the restaurant and ending with the results of a full investigation that exposed the truth behind everything. Peter carefully explained everything. He described how Bowen Real Estate looked successful from the outside, but in truth, it was broke. The company had been hiding its financial problems with illegal actions. As Lauren listened to Peter's testimony, she knew this wasn't about revenge. It was about doing the right thing. It was time to end the lies and bring out the truth. Later that afternoon, the court gave its verdicts. Jeremy Bowen, 6 years in prison. Julie Bowen, 4 years in prison. Kelly Bowen, 3 years in prison with 5 years suspended. They were also ordered to return the money they had stolen and pay large fines. Bowen real estate was shut down. The family mansion was taken, and all their assets were frozen. After the verdict, Julie cried out, "Lauren, are you really sending your own mother to prison?" "You emotionally hurt your daughter for years," Lauren replied firmly. Kelly shouted, "Are you happy now, ruining our lives?" "You ruined your own lives," Peter said calmly. Lauren walked out of the courtroom without looking back. The spring sun lit up the courthouse steps. "Are you okay?" Peter asked gently. "Yes," Lauren said. "Now our child can grow up in a world without lies." The streets of Wichita were busy as always, but something inside Lauren had changed. This wasn't an ending. It was a new beginning. For years later, in the quiet neighborhood of Lake Forest, Lauren stood by the window. She watched her 3-year-old daughter Megan playing in the garden. The autumn leaves swirled in the wind, just like they had 4 years ago. But everything was different now. "Mommy, look," Megan called, holding up a drawing. "I drew flowers." "That's beautiful," Lauren smiled. Peter walked in from the study. "Lauren, about your mother." "Julie Bowen has been released from prison," he said softly. "A friend said she's no longer the woman she once was. Most of her things were taken. Her life now seems very sad." "Does that bother you?" Peter asked. "No," Lauren said. "I just think it's karma." She pulled a letter from a drawer. It was from Kelly. She had received it a week ago. Kelly, who didn't serve prison time but lived under a suspended sentence, was now living a quiet life in a small town. In the letter, she said she was sorry and asked for a second chance. But Lauren didn't plan to write back. Peter gently hugged her from behind. "What are you thinking about?" "That we made the right choice," Lauren said. "We let go of fake relationships and chose real happiness." In the past 4 years, the Graham Hospitality Group had grown even more successful. But Peter and Lauren still lived simply. They didn't need luxury or to show off. Their happiness came from something deeper. "Any regrets?" Peter asked. "Not one," Lauren said. "We chose honesty, and that led us to the life we have now." She looked out the window again, thinking about the long journey that brought her here and how grateful she was for every step. Lauren heard from a friend about a prison guard. Jeremy Bowen, once known as the real estate king of Wichita, had tried to act proud when he first entered prison. But when he realized he wasn't getting any special treatment, he slowly lost his grip on reality. Every night in his cell, he would mutter, "I'm important, don't you know who I am?" Other inmates started laughing at him. He became a joke behind bars. The Bowen family had chosen a life full of lies and dishonesty, and they paid the price for it. But Lauren had chosen a different way, one built on honesty and doing the right thing. That path brought her real happiness. Now, with a peaceful heart and hope for the future, Lauren felt truly content.